Now, your forecast first, sponsored by Natax Heating, Cooling, and Plumbing.
All right, good evening to you. Another very calm night across central Illinois. We had just a lot of sunshine. It felt really good. And we're going to start off tomorrow feeling very comfortable because we've got temperatures already tonight into the lower 60s, but it's going to get a little bit warmer. And that is going to be the trend through the upcoming weekend when the heat and the humidity return. But we're looking at temperatures tomorrow back up to around 80 degrees for that high temperature. Got to come back and again talk about the thunderstorms that could go along for parts of your weekend as well. We'll do that when we come back here in just a little bit. WCIA 3 News starts right now.
Now from WCIA 3 News.
In the age of COVID, what types of folks are going to be willing to serve on juries?
So does that mean jury trials could be done remotely? Why some say that's unlikely. Unless a person is dead after an interstate collision last night, why a fire chief says it shouldn't have happened. And going remote could help keep kids safe, but it can also put parents in a bind, where children can still learn virtually outside of the home.
You're watching your local news leader. This is WCIA 3 News at 10.
In this age, what should we be looking at? And the courts are asking those questions too.
Lawyers are trying to navigate how to practice social distancing in the courtroom. The pandemic has some wondering how jury trials will be held if the pandemic continues or gets worse. Good evening, I'm Paul Cicchini. Courts have made many changes and new requirements to comply with health and safety during the pandemic, but that also poses the question of how to operate as COVID continues to impact due process. WCIA 3's Jennifer Jensen joins us from the newsroom tonight. So Jennifer, you spoke to several people about this. What did they tell you?
Paul, I talked with several state's attorneys and a civil lawyer to get their thoughts on the issues they've faced with court cases during the pandemic. Tonight, we'll take you inside a county courtroom to see how they've adapted to the social distancing safety precautions. The Champaign County courtrooms look much different than before the pandemic started. Plexiglass encloses the witness box. The jury box was reconstructed to create more room for social distancing, and there's a limit on the number of spectators allowed. Lawyers are dealing with things they never had to previously.
It'd be a very difficult time to convince people to come serve on juries.
Jury summons have changed, some having the option to do orientation training online to limit exposure. But that also made civil lawyer Kenneth Bland wonder how the pandemic may affect how jury trials are conducted further into the pandemic.
We're asking the question amongst ourselves, what about doing our trials virtually? And so we're trying to find out, what effect would it have on the prospective jury pool.
He posed the question of whether in-person jury trials would continue or if it could be possible to do them virtually online. In criminal cases, the accused have a constitutional right to a jury by their peers. Macon County State's Attorney Jay Scott says virtual options would complicate the integrity of criminal trials.
A defendant in a criminal case has a right to confront the witnesses and basically make them come before him and give their testimony. So I don't know that you could do that in a criminal case. Logistically, I think it would be kind of a nightmare.
Scott says seeing someone's facial expressions and body language has a significant impact on how juries make decisions.
When we're picking a jury, we like to look at the facial expressions of the jurors. So we kind of felt a little bit of a handicap too, because you can't tell what they're, if they're smiling or frowning or got a mean look on their face.
Macon County has had only one criminal trial since the pandemic started, practicing social distancing in the courtroom. But Scott says during the trial, he noticed a complication.
In our trial, the defendant chose to wear a mask the entire time. And one of the jurors commented to one of the security officers, like, we can't see his facial expressions. They tune into stuff like that.
Right now in Illinois, there is no provision to do virtual trials. But as the pandemic continues, we will follow how lawyers and courts evolve the protocols in and out of the courtrooms. In the newsroom, I'm Jennifer Jensen, WCIA 3, your local news leader.
All right, Jennifer, thank you. The governor is planning to reform the state's entire juvenile justice system. He's moving away from large prison-like detention centers to smaller community-based operations. The current system can take young people from their families and send them to different corners of the state. 40% of those in juvenile centers come from central Illinois, but they're taken to either southern or northern Illinois to be held. Experts say that experience can make kids feel like there's no other option once they enter.
Young people who had been affected by the system said in that context, too, that they felt like prison was something that society expected of them. When you're put in a congregate care setting that is very large like that, and you're incarcerated as a young person, you begin to develop that identity. And really, that's the last thing that any of us should want.
In the last 20 years, the state's already shut down 3 of these juvenile detention centers. The governor has not yet said whether the other 5 facilities would be closed or converted for another use in the state. A woman is recovering from a shooting in Decatur. Police say this happened last night on South 22nd Place near Clay Street. She was taken to the hospital. Police are still investigating what led up to that shooting. A man from Decatur is dead after a crash last night. It shut down the interstate for 9 hours. Happened on I-72 near Argenta. 32-year-old Eric Irvin was killed. 2 others were hurt. Irvin was pulled over on the side of the road when he was hit. He was helping a driver repair his truck. Around 9, another semi ran into both of them, killing Irvin. We spoke to Argenta Fire Chief Kurt Mechner, who was the first from his department on the scene. He says this crash is a reminder of the importance of the Move Over law.
It's just actually ridiculous that somebody can't take 15 or 30 seconds out of their day to pull over and slow down to a reasonable speed so that you could actually save somebody's life. I mean, it happens every day in this state that people are just in too big a hurry and can't get over.
The driver, who police say caused the crash, was ticketed for failing to yield to a stopped car and for not slowing down to avoid a crash. It's a nerve-wracking time for parents wondering what their kids' education will look like this school year. Families in Champaign got new details just yesterday, learning all students will start at home. For parents, teachers, and students, this school year will be an adjustment, no doubt. But with the switch to entirely virtual learning, some families are scrambling to figure out what to do. There are options for childcare, and La Petite Academy in Champaign is one.
We are not elementary school teachers. We are early childhood educators. We are here to facilitate the logins and the staying on task, and in the meantime also filling their days with activities that they can do and get outdoor play.
Champaign's YMCA is also structuring its care around remote learning. It's still finalizing plans, but says it'll keep kids from 7:30 to 5:30 on weekdays. It'll be limiting class sizes and not allowing visitors inside. One school district will be delivering meals to its students while they're learning remotely. Decatur schools will automatically start sending meals to registered students on August 17th. Parents have to opt out if they don't want to be part of the program. A meal opt-out form is available online. Meal delivery will be available as long as virtual learning continues. Grab-and-go meal pickup won't be available in the fall. We have more information about it at WCIA.com. Congressman Rodney Davis says he feels fine after finding out he tested positive for COVID-19. The top Republican on the House Administration Committee said he's not showing any symptoms. The news comes 2 days after speaking in Monticello about Gaby's Law. He said he decided to get the test Wednesday after one of his twice-daily temperature checks was higher than normal.
My temp was 99, which was higher than normal for me on that specific thermometer, and that allowed me to be able to go in. Even though at a 99-degree temp, I would have been let in any government building or medical facility without question.
Davis is the third congressman over the last week to report having the virus. House Speaker Nancy Pelosi has now required all House members and aides to wear masks on the House floor. We're correcting a story that was aired earlier at 5 and 6 o'clock. Accolade Senior Living in Paxton is the site of a COVID-19 outbreak. While that's true, there are 2 facilities with the Accolade name. The other is Accolade Healthcare Skilled Nursing Facility. We incorrectly showed that facility. We apologize for that mistake. Looking at the latest numbers on COVID-19, the average positivity rate for COVID-19 tests in Illinois over the last 7 days is back up to 4% as the state announced another 1,900 new cases of the virus. There are 188,000 total diagnosed infections in Illinois. 21 more people have died. There are almost 7,600 coronavirus-related deaths in Illinois. There's some good news for those here in Illinois who saw their unemployment benefits run out. IDES said today that 20 weeks of state extended benefits are now available. It's for those who finished the allotted 26 weeks of regular state unemployment benefits and the additional 13 weeks of federal pandemic emergency unemployment compensation benefits. There are currently 19 states, including Illinois, providing 20 weeks of extended benefits. If you need more information about this, you can go to our website, WCIA.com. New at 10, a unique contained waste and sewer system was just installed in downtown Royal. The small village hopes this will break a barrier that previously prevented businesses from coming to the area. A new restaurant wanted to take over a building downtown, but couldn't because the waste sewer system was outdated. The old system didn't meet EPA and health code standards. Village leaders say this new contained system solves many problems.
Antiquated systems meant many pipes, many system failures. It's a high cost for the businesses to try to maintain things that they can't even maybe get parts for anymore. Don't really understand exactly how things were hooked up.
They got about $200,000 in grants and loans to pay for the installation. The health department said it's one of the only villages in the state that has a downtown system like this. Businesses will be able to hook up to the new system in the next couple months. Everyone needs a little luck now and then. Why this time it could have earned you some cash. Plus, teams of people are helping out after a hurricane hit the East Coast, and they say that help once came to them after a different disaster. And it's Illinois football has had a lot of preparations ahead of their first practice. What Coach Lovie Smith had to say about keeping everybody safe.